Hey everyone, my name is Michael, and this is the DT11 podcast, a podcast about innovation and kindness and optimism and just really having a good time. So we're going to just see where this heads. I don't want to put too many obstacles in the way, but I'm super excited about this new chapter in my life. I'm starting this podcast because I think it's really a great way to just kind of document things that are happening in my life right now, and just see where it goes. I'm really don't have a whole lot of expectations. I will be talking about technology. Obviously, I'm a technology technician. A little bit about me and my background. I I started out way in my 20s. I'm now 48, and it's crazy, the evolution of things, in a person's life and their journey. And of course, I'm still in that journey, and that's wonderful. But yeah, I mean, so I started out, installing satellites in the mid '90s, and then from there, I was a cable TV technician, and then from there, I was a telephone technician, and then from there, I'm an IT technician now. I go all over the area, probably in about a 100-mile range of here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So that's really cool. And by the way, what's up, Knoxville? And so between Knoxville and, let's say, Corbin, Kentucky, and Asheville, North Carolina, and maybe Crossville out west, those are kind of Chattanooga. That's kind of my area, and I go all over and do things for Walmart, Dollar General, Family Dollar. I install hardware devices for just all sorts of different companies, and so I'm super excited about not only talking about technology, but I'm right now I've got I'm doing a lot of research, and I'm just really finding that happiness is really the North Star, and it's really the I think it's just important that you try to be happy in whatever it is that you're doing, no matter what it is. And if you're not happy doing what you love, and you're not trying to reach out and do something that you really enjoy, then I think a lot of people can get stuck getting into depression and those sorts of things. So I'm just want to go after trying to have that best life and talking about that. And I'm going to be interviewing some people here and around Knoxville and just kind of seeing what their takes are on certain things. And like I said, I don't want to put too much emphasis on one specific thing, because this will kind of evolve over time. But yeah, the name of the podcast is DT11. The name of my company is Data Tech 11, and so I just kind of shortened it for my podcast. And we're going to see where it goes. And I'm super excited about it. And this is just just a kind of an introduction to me and what I'm about. I'm obviously into Star Wars and a super nerd and just, all around tech guy. And I want to know what your thoughts are and what you would like me to talk about. I mean, I'm certainly skilled in a lot of different areas when it comes to technology. And if there's specific questions that you guys have about it, I'd love to, leave me some comments or, post in the comments there, what your questions would be. I'd love to hear your feedback. And, we can just get started on talking about things that interest you. I just have started to see kind of a trend with kindness. And, I think that really, if you look at out in the world, there's two kinds of things. There's the people that look for, bad things to happen, and they're intrigued by other people's lives and what's going on in a negative sense. But I really think that if you go out in the internet and you look for negativity, you can find it at scale. And if you go out on the internet and you look for positivity, guess what? You can find that at scale too. So this is really just one of those things where it's about perspective, and hopefully, maybe some perspectives can change in the positive direction, because if you're not living your best life, what life are you living? And I just feel like that it's just life's too short not to maintain a positive, optimistic outlook. It's certainly not possible all the time, but I think striving for it is a good start. And I'm just super excited about the opportunity to get out here and document some things and have a podcast and talk about some things. And the idea that this is what's crazy about the internet and how it's changed things. Someone's going to watch this podcast 300, 500 years from now, and to me that's incredible. I mean, my great great grandchildren, or all of those people, it's crazy. They're going to be able to see what kind of person I was and what I looked like, and the fact that I didn't have any hair. And it's just, I just think it's great. And it's obviously it's a little bit intimidating to turn a camera on and a microphone and everything else like that and start in. But the reality is that if you don't start and you don't document, then really all you have is pictures, and certainly they're wonderful. And I know in the past it's always been totally fine not to have a whole bunch of pictures and video and that sort of thing. But I think if you can have it, all of this stuff is mostly free. I just think it's a really cool way to document what's going on with your life at the moment and what's going on now, and see what happens. So yeah, I'm just super excited. Like I said, I'm really into tech and geeky stuff. I collect bobbleheads and things like that. I got my I got my Captain America. Obviously I don't have a Baby Yoda. I don't have a Baby Yoda bobblehead yet, but that's in the works. So if any of you know where I can get one, that would be awesome. But I've got some stormtroopers and some coffee mugs. I just love there's a big part of me that's kind of a kid still, and that's okay. I think that self-awareness is a big important part of a person's journey. And when you're self-aware, it kind of opens up a lot of opportunities to be happy in other aspects of your life. And that's certainly worth striving for, in my opinion. So yeah, this is where it is. This is what's going on. And I'm gonna upload all this stuff and see what everybody's take is on it. I like I said, I'd love to have some feedback of what would be some interesting things that you'd like me to talk about. I'm super big advocator of clean energy, solar energy, Tesla cars, and electric vehicles in general, really. Solar power, battery packs. I love to talk about smart home. I just think that voice, obviously we're recording voice right now. I just think that voice is going to, continue to, progress. And, at some point you're going to be able to just say things instead of, looking at them on your phone. You'll certainly be able to do that. But, just like we kind of progress from newspapers to radio to television to the internet to smartphones, and, and I think maybe voice is next, and we'll see. But it's just really cool to talk about all these things. And, I'm just excited. And I know I've said that multiple times, but, I'm kind of new at this. So, bear with me at first, you guys. But like I said, I think I have a lot to offer and talk about. And like I said, go ahead and hit me up and just let me know, what kinds of topics that you'd like me to discuss. I mean, I'm really almost open to anything. I mean, I'm not going to be able to talk about wedding dresses. It's just not going to happen. I don't know anything about them. And quite frankly, they would probably look pretty scary on me. So not going to do that. But I mean, for the most part, I'm going to be able to talk about things that are in my lane. And, so, 4K televisions, I know a great deal about them. If you have any questions about 4K televisions or, modems, there's a lot of people out there that don't realize that you can actually, buy your own modem or and router and then not have to pay for that monthly. And so there's just a lot of different ways that I feel like I could add value and save people some money. And that's what this show is going to be about, adding value and just, giving people information. I don't expect anything. Like I said, I go all over and work, so I make my money that way, so I'm not really worried about that. Just kind of an introduction to me. I've been here about a year now. I used to live in Knoxville back in the 90s, and I just always missed it, always loved it. And it's just one of those things where I had to get back here. And so I'm here and I'm loving the mountains. And, it's great. And, I want to get more involved in some local activities. If anybody knows some local activities that you think I should try. In fact, today I just actually joined where you paint rocks and then just hide them. And I just thought that was super fun. And I'll see how that goes. Let me know about, joining Facebook groups. If any of you have some Facebook groups that you're a member of and that you just think they're fantastic, I'd love to hear about those as well. Like I said, I don't want to really kind of dictate one specific thing. I know all the models say you're supposed to stay in a particular direction and all that with the podcast, but, I'm not trying to get 1 million followers on here. I'm trying to get followers that actually care about what I'm talking about and will actually listen faithfully. So that's more important to me. 30 followers that listen to me faithfully versus 300,000 followers that just click, listen to me for 5 minutes and then turn me off. It's really just about, interacting with everyone and just providing value and actually making it worth your while to give a listen, while you're doing your gym workout or driving in the car or whatever it is you're doing. And so that's where we're at. And super excited about it, like I said. And welcome, episode 001. 001. Have a good day, everybody.